Welcome back to the Tide Here. This is Mike, and today I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for May 15th, 2022. We've got lots of news from Masterpiece. Well, we got big news from Takara and a few others. We've got a little bit of creative Legends news going on this week. Lots of mainline Transformers news. Seems to be like always. We have updates from Ramen Toy on several of their projects. We got a few updated pictures of Masterverse for the Masters of the Universe. Also, Super 7 and Toy inspired reissue and repaints of figures they've already put out. There's always a little bit of Star Wars news, and I'm going to try to answer the age-old question.
What do we get for $10?
Coming up. Starting out, what's new as Show Z? There's a pre-order for Zeta Toys EX-10B Spacetron. That's an Astro Train metallic version, and it's also sort of a toy color inspired version, and it is made of die-cast and plastic, 8.66 inches tall, due out in August of 2022. So for $85, you can get this, sort of kind of the same thing Fantoys is doing color-wise. And also for $25, you can pick up the MPH Studio MPH S01 Beachcomber. It is $1 down for the pre-order deposit, and it's going to be 2.04 inches tall, so 2 inches tall. So like the Dr. Wu size, tiny, microscopic sub-Legends scale figures. And it does transform. And they do have the Trailbreaker up for pre-order, the Takara version, and it is $1 down, no price just yet, but the release date should be sometime in December of 2022, expected to be released. So rolling into Masterpiece news for this week, of course, I've already done a video on this guy on Friday, kind of broke down and did some comparisons to X-Transbots and Fans Toys, and there are some good things with this. I think each of the versions that have been made, they all have something good about them, but this one is getting a lot closer to the tune than I think any of the other ones, especially when it comes to the colors. But if you want a more in-depth look at this, go ahead and watch that Friday video. Let's move to other stuff. The Fleet Commander. This is the KO of Quietus from Fans Toys, is shipping now to everybody. But see, I was still in question of price, but I had to pay $115, and that is from TF Direct. So other places might be a little bit more, might be a little bit less. So for what seems to be a pretty solid KO figure, it looks pretty good. And if you're curious how many they're making, well, this picture doesn't really tell you, but they're making a lot. So Fans Hobby's been releasing more pictures of their projects. It seems like weekly they put out more pictures. This is a test shot of their MB-18 Energy Commander core robot, and it looks like it's got some color to it. So here it is with a little bit of posability. Now this does look like super bulky upper body, which this character seems to always have, but it's going to look good when it's all combined and all that kind of stuff. And then here we go with, he can support his own weight on one leg. Now that's impressive, especially with him being so top heavy. So being able to support his weight on one leg is a big deal. Now moving into another picture from Fans Hobby, the MB-19 test shot here. So you can kind of see the wings on this and all that kind of stuff. So looking pretty good. There's multiple different components to this double dealer going on. So does look pretty solid, does look pretty good. I think they just keep showing more updates. Here's another part of it right here, and this looks great. It looks like what you'd expect, and they just keep showing more and more updates. Now, we don't have color shots of these just yet, so these are in the grayscale, so you can kind of still see where all the lines are, the definition, all that kind of stuff, even better with grayscale. And then getting into a teaser, there's such a tease, and look, MB-23, it's on the way, so be interesting to see how this next project of theirs works out. So Takara was also showing the MPG-01 Shuki at the display in the Shizuoka Hobby Show, if I said it right. Anyway, this is still, I guess they're considering it still Masterpiece, even though scale-wise it doesn't work for Masterpiece. And it's a little bit different looking than, say, the Moon Studio. So a lot of people like the Moon Studio. A lot of people say the Moon Studio is very complex, though. But I think you kind of have to have that to have such a great BOD mode and such a great alt mode. So yeah, they have this on display. So it is what it is. It's something that they're working on right now, and it's still, in my mind, a little perplexing how they're going about it, but I'd like to see the true end result And that's how I would judge this set. So Vectron Labs is putting out another picture of their Devastator. This is the leg and kind of how it is built up and how it's going to look on there. So kind of cool, very interesting that they're making this Devastator. And while they're showing all this stuff, X-Transbus really hasn't shown any progress on theirs. Here is what it's going to look like when it's actually on the combined the 24-inch combined mode, and pretty interesting. I think it's going to look really good when it's done. It's taking parts for me in a different direction, so we look forward to that, and of course seeing exactly how it's going to look. But it's not exactly matching some of the renders that they put out earlier, especially with that barrel on the left leg. So New Age is coming out with the H43V Bazoo, whatever. But this is a recolor of their Cyclonus, and I never saw this coming into a Beast Wars Death Charge. That is so strange. The Death Charge is my favorite Beast Wars character, among my favorite of Beast Wars, and I did buy one back in the day. And this does look like it's an even better version than kind of what we got with the original toy back in the 90s, but it does look pretty cool. Here's from the back, and I just would have never thought to do this. I would have never thought that would make a Beast Wars Depth Charge, and they did it, and it does look pretty good. It does look like it kind of fits the character very well. Yeah. What I'm really shocked about is how they pulled off the alt mode looking that good. So very, very impressive. That is just awesome. Like, it's the reverse. The front end is the tail, and the rear end is the front. It's just interesting how they did it. Really cool. I mean, kudos to New Age. And they're also making a clear Cyclonus that, like, I can't keep up with all 15 repaints. So we've got a few pictures of Super 7 and their Transformers. These are the Ultimates figures, and I have to say that it's pretty much exactly what I expected. For $55, you're getting a non-transformable Optimus Prime right here. Toy Bro has done reviews on this one in the Bonsaitron, and limited articulation, and it does look a little bit better in hand than in the pictures that I saw before. But overall, it's still, for $55, it doesn't transform. It should knock your socks off and not have such limited articulation. Now, the thought process behind limited articulation is that you can get a better look, but it looks a little bit on the cheap side, in my opinion. I still got one pre-ordered, though. Here's pictures of Bonsaitron and his little companion that comes with him. And so, I do not know much about this character, but I believe it is the Action Masters, and I think I've looked it up in the past there. Here's what the little companion guy looks like, so that's kind of cool. When it comes to Super 7, a lot of the accessories are where they shine, and we're going to see that here in a bit with some more of this. Now, here's a nice comparison shot, but if this is about the same size as Optimus Prime, and Optimus Prime would be the same size as Lion-O, or maybe just a little bit taller than Lion-O, I'm seriously disappointed in the size of them, but maybe Prime is much bigger. But anyway, looking at all this stuff that's going on right here, that's as big as he is. That's a $55 figure, but then again, so are the Thundercats, and they're pretty decent. This is the foot to that Metroplex that we're going to be seeing from Light Toys, and it's huge. So this just is mind-blowing how big just the foot is, how big this project's going to be. And so it's one of those things that I am really excited to see how it turns out and looking forward to it, but my wallet's not. Also kind of showcasing there's articulation and just kind of how they're putting a lot of work and effort and thought into this. So hopefully it does work out, does pan out, and it turns out great. So getting into mainline news, I'm going to try to keep all these recolors straight. It's kind of hard, actually. But the Amazon exclusive Transformers Legacy Wreck and Roll Collection Comic Universe Impactor and Spindle revealed, and this is the first look here. So this is one of those weaponizers, those bones, dinosaurs recolored here. Here it is in its alt mode, and yeah, pretty cool, pretty interesting. If you miss it the first go around, or or if you're just now picking them up on clearance like some people, then yeah, you can pay the $44.99 for the set on Amazon, or you can try to find the old one on clearance. Here's the Impactor, and I know a lot of people like this. They like this character. I've got the original, but I'm not sure about this recolor. And this is exactly what we need exclusives for. Something we already have the original, and this is just a repaint for those who want to chase it down. People who love Impactor and want all the different versions, different colors, then they're just getting this treat. And those of us who just want the one don't have to have a whole bunch and feel like they're getting left out there. So don't put Seeker Elite as an exclusive. Put something like this I praise them for the recolor figures as exclusives. That's fantastic, and I'll praise that every single time. Here we go with the alt mode, and like nothing we haven't seen before. So looking pretty cool. The interesting different colors, brighter, fun. Feel like it's for the 90s. So we have another recolor, which is another Amazon exclusive, and it is the Legacy Wreck and Roll Collection Springer Revealed. So it's a different color take on the original Springer. So with that, some people missed out on the first Springer, or just didn't bite on it, or found out it had a problem with the right knee, which I think they all have. Maybe they fixed that. It'll be interesting to find out if they fixed that knee where it's, you know, not so floppy, not so bad. The colors aren't that bad, but it's not Super G1, so, you know, I think people are going to be chasing down the previous version so much more. But the previous one ended up at the discounters for like 13 bucks or something like that. Anyway, here's the helicopter mode, and is that the helicopter mode? I don't remember it looking like that, but anyway, that's what it looks like. And then car mode, and it's a pretty decent figure, a pretty decent transformer. I think the recolor does make it look a little bit less good in the alt modes, but still, if you missed out, this will be your chance to get, but it's an Amazon exclusive recolor, so it's probably still going to be kind of hard to get. It might sell out pretty quick, so if you do want one of these, get on your pre-order. So, the next one is the Masterdamus and Leadfoot for Amazon exclusives here, and so with that, this is a recolor, and it's got a different color scheme, way different color scheme. I actually think this is more interesting than the first one that they put out. Here it is in the alt mode, so I think this one is a very interesting recolor, and might be one to track down if you're into all of these, with these weaponizers and all the fossilizers and all that kind of stuff. And then we get into a Leadfoot here, so which is a repaint. Already getting a repaint here of this Mirage, and looks okay, looks interesting. I'm still not super sold on the design, but you know, they've already had this mold as an Amazon exclusive before. And then here it is in the bot mode, and they've definitely done, I think the head's a little different maybe, I'm not sure, but still, if you're in on this, this is exactly what we need for exclusives. Now with the recolor exclusives out of the way, we can talk about Studio Series. Now this RC is going to get an upgrade or a change, and it doesn't affect the bot mode too much, but I do think this bot mode looks a little bit better than it did before, but again, you have to see it in hand. They really did fix a lot of the issues with the alt mode, which gave her a bigger backpack, but, you know, the alt mode's better. So, trade-off here and there. And so I don't think that the section of the backpack's removable anymore, and that kind of stuff. I don't think she has a surfboard, but I think it does look better, but it has a much longer back. I mean, literally, like, more of the car is strapped to her back. But then we got a Studio Series Bumblebee. I don't really know any differences between this and what's hanging at Target right now, so just looks like another movie Bumblebee. Here is the alt mode of that one, so there you go. Another Studio Series Bumblebee. And then we've got this guy right here, sideways. We saw like some sort of a strange looking picture of it showing up out of the blue, and now we get to actually see what it really looks like. And so those are the official pics. Here is the alt mode of it, an official pic. So sideways, Studio Series. So we got some updated, well, actually video, but it's kind of pictures of the HasLab Victory Saber. I was going to call him Star Saber again, but Star Saber and Victory Leo, the Victory Saber set. And it's looking to be a pretty good value. Like, the more and more you see of it, it really was a pretty good value. And here it is, height-wise, not with all the stuff on it, next to an Optimus Prime and a Hound. So, pretty good size, pretty good value. Here is a literal in-hand image of it in its alt mode. So this is the real deal, real thing, not just renders and all that kind of stuff. And then here goes the Victory Leo himself, looking pretty good too. So pretty nice looking mainline figure. And here is the ship, now all armored up, and with the Victory Leo on the ship mode and on the stand and all that kind of stuff. Still says it's a prototype, final products may vary, but this is better than just renders. And here's the real thing you're looking for. Everything put together, everything on it in the bot mode, and that is a really good size compared to the mainlines. This is technically a mainline figure, and that really does work. So, project is moving along pretty well, and it works. And we got more pictures of Wild Rider for the mainline, for the Minotaur, and it's deluxe size, deluxe scale. Here he is in his alt mode, and he has Storage Force weapons in his alt mode, which works. It's similar to G1, but different than G1, and better. Better the way they did it, I believe. Here we go with Knockout, and so there he is. And is he a Knockout? Yeah, he looks pretty good. I like that red. I like the color breakup, too. And then here's the alt mode with a bunch of stuff kind of clipped onto it, so there you go. And you can store pretty much everything right on the alt mode. And then we have hijacks. This is going to hijack this thing here. And a cool looking figure overall. And just an interesting color scheme. Yes, I do feel like this one is something that creeped right out of the 90s too. So there he is in his alt mode. If you like his alt mode, there it is. It looks pretty interesting. Not really sure if I'm in on this. I'm sure. Are you in on this? So from an official reveal to an unofficial, well, here it is. So this is an in-hand version of Hijacks, and it's bigger than I thought. So from the other pictures we saw from Hasbro, this looks bigger than what I was expecting. So pretty big, pretty solid, bigger than even the Starscream. So here is the alt mode. The alt mode is comparable to Starscream, so all that works out pretty well. Looks pretty good. So we have seen this Loot Crate Beast Wars Megatron before. I have no idea what they're trying to do with this thing, but this is it. I think it's a statue. I think it might even have a little bit of articulation to it, but it's really strange the pose they put it in. It's not that it's even that bad looking. It's just that it doesn't have the articulation and the pose is weird, so I don't know. It's just really strange. And you have to have that thing stuck to his foot forever, so anyway, Loot Crate, Beast Wars Megatron, that's a comparison to a real Megatron. So they're reissuing this Top Gun Maverick figure, which, it's weird. It seemed like there was talk about this, then it just vanished from the face of the earth and nobody talked about it. And then now it's resurfacing back on the face of the earth. But anyway, I think the alt mode looks good. I think that's where it really does hold up the best, is in the alt mode. I don't know. You can call it your leader one. You can call it a lot of things if you want to in the alt mode. The other mode's kind of strange looking, but I do kind of look forward to Top Gun, and it's cool. Admiral, Iceman. Okay, so there's going to be a Lego Optimus Prime, and that is kind of interesting because it is going to transform. It's going to be a pretty big one. It's almost the size of a Masterpiece, and it's $170. So it's interesting. A lot of people in the Lego community are super duper excited about this, maybe just because they want every franchise that they've ever come in contact with to be remade in Lego form. And I sort of understand that, and I saw one of the Voltron Lego Voltrons in person, and I thought that was like the dumbest idea ever. But when I saw it in person, I really liked it. So I probably would feel the same way about this. Even though I'm not in on this, I think that when you see something Lego like this in person, it's way more impressive than pictures. I think this picture is really important to show you how it kind of sort of transforms and gets the job done. And so I have heard that other people in the Lego community have tried to make their own transforming Transformers themselves without special made pieces. And so Lego's going to, of course, make special made parts for this. And they had very limited success. So it'll be interesting how this goes about. Here it is with all the included stuff. So I'm assuming you literally have to build everything. I mean, do you have to build the gun too? You have to build the axe? You have to build everything? I have no idea. I haven't built a Lego thing since 1980 something. So like 88. 88 was the last year I built a castle. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, this is looking like a lot of work. But the people who buy this and put this together enjoy it. Speaking of putting it together, this is kind of what it looks like as you put together your Lego Optimus Prime. Anyway, $170 if you're interested in this. A lot of people are, by the way. Alright, Diamond Select is making VHS Miniature Mini-Mates box set. And it is a pre-order for either $30 or $40, I guess, with or without the VHS, I guess. But limited to 2,500. And they're real small. They're real small Mini-Mates. They're blocky looking figures. They're not super deformed, though. They're just slightly bigger heads than they should have. Almost kind of like Lego style. Speaking of Lego, this kind of feels like Lego. I don't know. I don't even see the real product. I just see pictures here, so it'll be interesting to see what they actually look like when they come out. Oh, yes. TFCon. David K. is going to be at TFCon October 21st to 23rd in 2022 in Chicago. And cool. I think he did a great job voicing Megatron. Just like, how do you follow-up from the G1 series to make a new voice for Megatron. He did a really good job at that. So he's voiced a lot of other characters too, but his Megatron is just outstanding. Anyhow, I do look forward to the third-party panel here. That's my favorite part of these TF Cons, and Chosen Prime usually does a pretty good job hosting it. So, in other news, we have Ramen Toys showing an update on their 80s Commander, and this is, well, a combination, technically, of Hacker and their Traumatizer, the ones they're making, the thing called Land Drone, and anyhow, they do sort of connect, and I think it's a magnetic connection that's going to work with that, which is really cool, and something that I think is a little bit groundbreaking when it comes to this and the way this is done. Of course, no other Centurions were made other than the original vintage one, so it looks pretty cool. Here we go with another picture of them just connected together like that. Very, very cool, very interesting. Cannot be done at all with the vintage stuff. The way they've been doing this, it can't be done the same way, and they're just groundbreaking with a few of the things they're doing. So from the 80s Commanders now to the Silverhawks, and their Silverhawks look outstanding. I really do look forward to these Silverhawks. They look awesome. And no, this is not an end result product. These are still prototypes and working things out here and there, but I am excited, looking forward to both of these. Actually, more specifically, I think Monstar looks fantastic. So Quicksilver looks pretty good too, but that Monstar is just awesome. Getting into some of the masks, the Kenner masks that they're working on. Well, it's not Kenner mask, but it is Kenner mask. So let's just be there. There's a figure there that show right next to this. This looks good, but moving into the shark and seeing the shark, this is a really awesome picture right here. So you can see that the shark broken down into all the elements, and you can have all of the parts that move, and it's constructed with a double chassis layer. So you got a top and a bottom chassis that kind of connect together and screw in some parts. I mean, really so much that goes into this. There is so much that goes into a vintage Kenner mask vehicle, and then remaking those in the same style. It's a lot of engineering and thought that goes into it. So I really do look forward to this. And of course, looking at it next to the Thunderhawk, yep, that Thunderhawk looks like it's going to blow away anything that we had from Kenner. Sliding into Masters Universe now, I'm not going to go figure by figure, and because we kind of already talked about some of this stuff, but they've updated with more pictures of these, and I think they look great. I think that Mattel's going in the right direction with these, and I really probably should do another whole video and go through every single picture, but this is exciting. They're going in a direction that they're not only rivaling classics, but in some ways with pinless joints and all of that, they are actually going to have some figures that are better than classics. That you're going to, classics collectors might want to, the Matty collector, classics collectors might want to upgrade to these versions. And then of course some still won't quite hit the mark, but mostly like the female buck is just looking outstanding, looking amazing. I look forward to seeing all these figures come from Masterverse. Hope they can keep it going past 2022 though, because the current toy aisle scares me how things are not moving. So G.I. Joe, there's nothing new with Classified. I mean, it's literally, let's announce something in 4 months of a standstill. So we're standing still. I think one person in the world got a Snake Eyes or something, or Storm Shadow, I'm sorry. We've got 11 Snake Eyes. We've got a Storm Shadow. And so with that, this is Reaction, Super 7 Reaction. Again, Super 7 just at the heart of a lot of what's going on. And we're getting a bat from them for the 3.75, a Zartan, a Shipwreck. Shipwreck looks pretty cool, but Shipwreck's not a surprise because we already kind of got some sailors and stuff. And then we're getting another Snake Eyes, you know, whatever. But we don't have pictures yet. These are Entertainment Earth listings. So for Entertainment Earth listings, we're getting female troopers and all kinds of stuff, getting a cover girl. So not much more to report, but the listings are there. Soon we'll get some sort of pictures to see what they look like. Speaking of Entertainment Earth, there is a really good deal right now. If you're into the Thundercats, the Super 7 Thundercats, then they have for $105 shipped, well, plus tax, but there's like a free shipping code that they put out there for you and all that. You can get the Jackalman, you can get Lion-O, and you can get Mumra for $105. And I went ahead and got that because I've got the Matty Collector one, and I'm like, well, it'd be nice to also have this one here. I wasn't even going to mess with Wave 1, but I also heard something about the molds aren't theirs, so they may not be making Wave 1 again. This might be their last shot at Wave 1. Well, they got another set of Wave 1 coming along, but still pretty interesting how they're doing this. And Entertainment Earth, 105 shipped, great deal. Okay, now I don't know if Lion-O counts as Wave 1, but they're remaking it, and they're remaking all of these into toy colors, toy-inspired colors. So that's pretty interesting news, and still not available for pre-order on BBTS just yet, or if it was taken back down, which a lot of this stuff's getting taken down. The pre-orders go up, and then they go away. So anyhow, so we've got Cheetara, Lion-O, we got Mumra, and then we got Monkeyin, and these are all toy-inspired, and they're not doing like they did before where they made exact replicas and new molds. They're just using the existing molds and tooling to just kind of put out slightly different recolors, and I think it's pretty effective. It's interesting the route they're going. Now, we don't quite have a Cheetara just yet for the regular Ultimates line, but yeah, they're all $55, I believe. Of course, I don't know for sure, but that's what I'm hearing. And she's going to come with one extra hand, one extra head, some extra hands, and her staff. So very minimalistic on what's going on in the box. So I would say if it's so minimal, why not a better price, a cheaper price? So still, I'm not 100% sure they are all $55. So we'll find that out. Lion-O with a toy color and a toy head, all new sculpt head to look like the toy, and the toy claw, toy sword. I mean, really interesting that they're going about this. At first, if you were to just tell me they're doing this, I would have thought, man, that's stupid. But seeing it, like, it's kind of cool, actually. Here is the Monkeyin, and very minimalist. You got an extra head, so as if you lost his helmet, you put the other head on. I'm sorry, I lost the helmet. And then you've got his mace. He's got his Morning Star, and then, of course, closed hands in there. So very few. Why is this not cheaper? This should be like 35 bucks each, right? So why I think that they're still all going to be 55 from what I'm hearing is that this guy's only going to be 55 instead of 60. So anyway, I'm curious about a lot of things on this. Will his headdress come off and then put on the other head, or is the headdress stuck to this one head? So I would believe that you could swap the head dressing, but I haven't seen that in any of the photos. But you have toy-inspired accessories, weapons, extra hands. Cool looking, interesting. Are you in on this? We now enter into the what did you get for $10 segment of the video. And if you're upset about prices, then just do what I've been doing. Some of the stuff that I don't really care about, I wait for it to go on clearance and either pick an extra one up if I've already bought one, or I just wait, and if I miss it, I miss it. So I got this set of these hammer figures so that I could pop my Tomax and Xamot heads on it either later this October or sometime in 2023 whenever they arrive. But it would be nice for kind of the business suit guys. Yeah, I don't think they wore pinstripe, but it's still going to work. It's still going to be fun, interesting to have Tomax and Xamot side by side in some suits for less than it costs to buy just Tomax. We got some Transformers here. We've got a lot of the Kingdom stuff just getting clearanced out. Like, I watched them go to 21, then to 15, and now 10. So, and it's really strange, too, because the pricing on these, when you look at, say, what was the previous price, for a while they were trying to charge 33 and 23 on them, and then now some stuff doesn't make sense, and, well, for 10 bucks, I guess it's kind of worth picking these things up, right? And I wanted to have more of these to open up to mess around with when I get that new turtle van from Underground Arsenal. So real cheap, I can have some so they can see how these fit in the Underground Arsenal van. Lesson is, FOMO should not rule your life. Just wait, and like on some cases, if you miss out, you miss out. But in other cases, if you really, really want it, I guess you need to buy it. But I see lots of clearance, like a ton of clearance coming in the next couple of years. So, I guess Disney announced that they're going to make some Kellogg's Frosted Flakes with Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi show. So, back in the day, there were all kinds of crossovers in cereal and all that. And, of course, there was a toy in there, like, is there going to be a toy in these? But pretty cool, pretty interesting. It's just something that's going on. And the Obi-Wan series looks like it has a lot of potential because the era that it is. So it's set in a fun era, a good sort of original trilogy, pre-original trilogy. So I'd like to see how that goes. I look forward to it, and I'm going into it with a very open mind. Here's this Star Wars Droids is showing up, this Boba Fett. And I think this is actually one of the cooler things that has been done by Hasbro in a while, but I don't have it yet. And I'm hearing everywhere, everybody's getting them in their Targets, but yet I'm not getting mine. I see Facebook sellers wanting double, so 28 bucks each instead of the 14. So with that, if I see it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. I mean, I've gotten the recommendation from a lot of people to just stop collecting Star Wars, so I might take them up on that. But Star Wars started it for me. It started it for a lot of people, and so with that, I'm still sticking around for the time being. One really fun thing to collect is Aspatech droids, and so with that, this is Droid Factory from the shop, Disney shop, and this is a R2W50. So kind of cool, kind of different, but I think we're up to like 100 of these different variations of R2 by now. So last week we talked about the 6-inch Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it wasn't up for pre-order just yet, so now it's up for pre-order pretty much everywhere that you pre-order your Black Series stuff. I stopped pre-ordering anything Star Wars, so if I see it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. But $25, and so it's kind of funny that I didn't even realize with me, $5 makes that big of a difference of, maybe I just won't anymore. So I wonder how many more people are affected by the extra $5 for nothing if you're going to be in on it. And for a character that we already have 3 different versions of, I think a lot of people do want the look that's going to go with the show, but still, man, that price is killer. And at least this one, I think, still will have plastic in the box. The big nail in the coffin is when they take the plastic out of the box. But anyway, that's where we are with Star Wars. So what do you guys think about this week's weekly news interview? What else is going on out there that's pretty awesome that you want to share? Because I like to stay in the know. Like, subscribe. Tiberium Hanger out.